Hello, welcome to page 633. Sorry, I usually don't say that. Welcome to chapter 9, section 6, solving quadratic equations by factoring. I'm on page 633, and we are going to do problems 7 through 12. Now, I broke this, this is actually all one section, but I broke it into, instead of doing, 12 problems in a video, I'm just going to break it into like 2 videos with 6 problems in both. All right. So the next video will be just more me doing these. So what we're going to do is we're going to factor each of the quadratic expressions. We're going to keep setting it equals 0. Always write equals 0. Don't leave that out. And then we're going to solve both parts through the zero product property, which if you're watching these in order, you just saw me do that with the ones that are already factored. Okay, so I want it to look like this. And don't forget, you have to have the equals 0. What multiplies by what to get x squared? Well, that's just going to be x times x. And spoiler alert, most of the time, if you just have x squared, you're just going to start off with x in both of the binomials. This is the hard part. What two numbers multiply to give negative 12, but when I add them, I get positive 4. You can make a list if you want. That's fine. Some of you might recognize it right away. This is going to be positive 6 and negative 2. So I probably won't do this for all of them, but just you can check. X times x is x squared. 6x, which is 6 times x, times plus negative 2x is 4x, and 6 times negative 2 is 12. So now this is just like our last video, x plus 6 equals 0, or x subtract 2 equals 0. Add negative 6 to both sides, I get x equals negative 6. Add positive 2 to both sides of this equation, and I get x equals 2. And of course, you can go back and check your answers. Let's try negative 6. Negative 6 squared is positive 36. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. Negative 24 subtract 12 is negative 36. 36 subtract 36 equals 0. So that works. For 2, I get 2 squared, which is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And 4 plus 8 equals 12. 12 subtract 12 equals 0. So both of them work. I'll leave the check for you for the since I'm making a video and I'm trying to not make it run too long. All right. So again, I'm going to start off with x times something, and I'm going to get 0, so set it up that way. What two numbers multiply to give negative 9, but add to give negative 8? You can, make a list, do whatever you want. I get negative 9 and positive 1. This tells me x subtract 9 equals 0. I'll go ahead and do this one. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to add 9 to both sides and get x equals 9. Or x plus 1 equals 0. Subtract 1 to both sides, and I get x equals negative 1. And if I check both of those are going to work. I guess I'm kind of cheating, but it's because I'm making the video. If we were in class, I would make sure I check it. All right, same thing with all these. The only thing I notice is that for the last 3, I'm going to have to move the 10, the negative 16, and the 15 over to one side. So I have to have it equal 0, otherwise this doesn't work. But this one is set up that way. What two numbers multiply to give 6 but add to give negative 5? I'm tempted to say like maybe 6 and negative 1 or negative 6 and 1, but that's a positive 6, not a negative 6. So the two numbers have to both be negative. That means I'm going to get negative 3 and negative 2. So x subtract 3 equals 0. Add 3, and I get x equals 3. Or x subtract 2 equals 0. Add 2, and I get x equals 2. And you can check both of those in there. For number 10, which I don't know if it's probably just coincidence. For number 10, I have to get that 10 over to the other side. So I'm going to add negative 10 to both sides. I get x squared, subtract 3x, subtract 10 equals 0. What two numbers multiply to give negative 10 but add to give negative 3? So that's going to be x subtract 5 and x plus 2 equals 0. And I'm kind of like breezing through the factoring, to be honest. That's because we've already covered how to learn that. So if you were curious about the factoring part, I'll post those videos in Schoology so you can review. I get x subtract 5 equals 0, or x plus 2 equals 0. Add 5, I get x equals 5. Subtract 2, I get x equals negative 2. And you can check both of those. I'll do one. 5 squared is 25. 3 times 5 is 15. 25 subtract 15 does equal 10. And then you can do the same thing for negative 2. Alright, like this one I have to add 16 to both sides. So I get x squared plus 10x plus 16 equals 0. What two numbers multiply to give 16 but add to give 10? Oh, I forgot my x, 10x. What two numbers multiply to give 16 but add to give 10? I've got 8 and 2, so x plus 8, x plus 2. And now I'm going to use my zero product property to solve. There you go, just like that. And the last one for this video, again, I'm going to add negative 15 to both sides, which is the same as subtracting 15. Actually, sorry about that, let me move that up. The iPad screen doesn't always frame up well with my 8.5 by 11 paper. So I get x squared plus 2x plus negative 15 equals 0. What two numbers multiply to give negative 15 but add to give 2? I think that's going to be positive 5 and negative 3. So x plus 5 equals 0. Add negative 5 to both sides and get x equals negative 5. Or x subtract 3 equals 0. 0. My paper moved on me. Add 3 to both sides and I get x equals positive 3. Alright, we'll see you in the next video where I'm going to do more problems like this.